Timothy, never provoke with the go, cause I want all the smoke, you could call me a chimney. And I really want, but I settle for, I just ain't ready to whittle.
We are technically 5 miles east of Washington, D.C., and that's where you find this place, FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. Today, it's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we've got a good one in store between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders. The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. Taking in at the 3. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The drive will commence with a run by Mixon. And not the start he was hoping for there, as he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Call it no gain on the game's first play. And it's second down now. On play action, they'll throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down. This defense for the Commanders, they were fantastic a week ago in a win over Houston.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defense coordinator about their performance last week, because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct.
And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. Montez Sweat, the man that time to fight in and drop him.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
It's a 45-yard punt, but a decent return there of 9 yards. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. Complete out to Samuel on the quick throw. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield. Zero hesitation that time. That was get ball, throw ball.
Yeah, it turned into a smoke route. If you see the coverage off the receiver, doesn't matter whether you call it a run or not. Just take the ball, get it out to him.
Here's Corral on 1st down. And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. The first carry for the Memphis man, Antonio Gibson. And he's going to bull his way forward to the 48. He was able to pick up 6 yards there, so that leaves him with a 3rd and 13.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And looking for McLaurin, but this is intercepted. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a pick. And the Eagles are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line. So this is something we didn't see at all from this offense in the victory last week. That's a turnover. They didn't have any, but giving the ball away here in the opening quarter.
I love the surprise in your voice because it's exactly what you stated. Didn't see it last week, but it's a key to their win. And it'll be a key to this game as well, protecting the football. Didn't get it done there.
Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
Second and 13. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Certainly looked like someone was very confident in his ability to fit that one in. I would say he was overconfident because there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. Had that one covered pretty well downfield and knocked it away.
And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. They'll set up a throw. Try to lay one up deep. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down. The Eagles send out their punter now as he'll punt it away for the second time. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And they'll play keep away from the returner as this one will be marked out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Pretty good spot. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
We knew he was close to the line of scrimmage, and they say he stepped over.
Well, when you see him in that position, you think he's become a runner. As a DB, you start to react towards the line of scrimmage. They can often throw it over your head.
So the illegal forward pass also costs him a down, and now it's second and long. Corral looking to pass, second down. And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. That ball nearly intercepted, but he could not hang on. Oh, a pick there certainly would have been nice. Instead, at least it'll be fourth down. Washington going to send out their punter as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. He'll take it a few steps in front of the 50. It's a 40-yard punt, 4 yards on the return. And the Eagles will have great starting field position here as they take over. Mixon with a first down carry. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Tackle made there by the UCF man, Mike Hughes.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
2nd and 9 now. Oh, he bowls over it. And the tackle going to be made at the 38.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now gives a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And that one opened up for him well as he'll take this down to the 26-yard line. It's a gain of 13 and a 1st down for Philadelphia.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
No dice this go around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. It's a loss of 4 on the 1st down play.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the 1st half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
He'll have to deal with a 2nd and 14 now after the loss. It's Mixon on the counter. Pushes him over, and they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
I don't think anyone thought we'd see a run facing 2nd and that long, and that element of surprise, I think, helped make that play so successful. Nice effort on that carry, and it took what seemed like 2nd and impossible. Now has him within throwing range of a 1st down.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the 1st. And before they can run this 3rd down play, we're going to get a timeout. And that's their 2nd charge timeout here in this 1st quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. The 6 DBs on the field for Washington on 3rd down. Now this time he'll look to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Cameron Curl. And the Commanders are going to take possession of the football.
And that felt like a little extra pressure on that 3rd down attempt, and their mistake cost them points because they're inside the red zone. So you know you've got at least a field goal waiting for you. And in this case, they end up with nothing.
Corral with it. 1st down here. Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. 30, 10, 5, and he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Eagles defense gets a pick-6 TD. On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. He's got it, and the Eagles lead at 7-0.
Makes the score Eagles 7, Commanders 9.
So they throw the pick-6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. They're probably lucky to only be down 7-0 as they come up 1st and 10. Corral is intercepted again. That's number 3. Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw? And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
They'll start out here with a jet sweep. After 7-0 on EA Sports. From the 28, it's 2nd and 5. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
The Eagles on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This time they face a 3rd and 2. They'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete.
This is what defensive coaches ask of their defenders every single ball game. Get a hand on every throw in coverage. They want the deflections. They want the knockaways. Pick it yourself if you can, but at least knock it down and guarantee it's incomplete.
So on comes the Eagle kicker, Jake Elliott, on 4th down. From the left hash mark, this a 43-yard attempt. The kick by Elliott is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Corral to throw, 1st and 10. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. So following the sack, they'll try to change their fortune here on 2nd and 13. A give up the middle to Gibson. He'll get about 4 as he's past the 35 to the 38-yard line. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first.
Brings up 3rd and 9.
Corral sets up play action. Going up top. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
As a coaching staff, you can call just about whatever you want because you understand you have guys who reliably take away those massive shots downfield. You're not as worried about giving up the big one.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And he's out right at the 25. Nice punt, but good work on the return to get back 11 yards. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Yep. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
They'll start by running the option to the right. An option handoff here to Mixon. And down he'll go at the 25. Without the previous penalty, that would have been a first down. Instead, it's just a gain of 10.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've got to hit the jackpot there.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
A first down run, good for about 3. 2nd and 7 coming up.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
They get this to Smith on the jet sweep. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. That one a first down pickup of 8. Well, we've seen running backs in today's NFL get involved in the passing game. Maybe it's about time more receivers like that get involved in the running game.
And that is something we are seeing more and more in this league, no question about it. That wasn't the biggest of gains, but it was enough to get them a first down. And it continues to test the defense. They have to think on every play about who might end up with the ball.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
Textbook coverage right there. Played the ball, never lost sight of where it was headed, and stayed in perfect position to make a play on it. Able to keep the receiver and the quarterback in his sight lines.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Smith, and he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45. So 8 yards on the completion there, and that'll bring up 4th down. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. 10-0 our score. The Eagles send out their punter now as he's on to kick it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football.
I feel like you and I could be in our backyard with our dads right now. What did they always say when they were throwing us the ball? Look it all the way in. Make sure you secure it. That had the feeling of not happening there on that play, that he didn't have full control of the ball.
When that punch coming in, I've never returned punts, but I would imagine it's tough to monitor those guys coming full steam ahead at you.
It really is. You try and get that peek to know where they are, about whether you should fair catch it or not.
Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Another try after the first down sack. Corral. He'll get this into the hands of Antonio Gibson. And able to get this one out just shy of the 25 at the 24.
It's a gain of 16 yards. That's good for Washington. 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line.
Here's Corral on 1st down. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Well, these two teams, they met up way back in the season opener, and it was Washington winning on the road, so they're looking to finish off the sweep here at FedEx Field. From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, here's Corral. That's complete. Terry McLaurin with it. And they work this well upfield across the 45. And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
First and 10 at the 47-yard line.
First down. Here's Corral with it. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that is caught at the 10-yard line. Touchdown, Washington. Jahan Dotson, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Commanders are on the board here in the final minute of the first half. Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. Washington kick team back out there now as they will send this one away. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And leading 10-7, and they may just want to get this to the locker room. Oh, the Commanders are going to get there as he's taken down. Jonathan Allen, the former first-round pick, getting in there to bring him down. But found his way into the backfield, and he simply would not be denied.
Well, they say that life's all about opportunities, and that holds true when you're playing defense as well. How about him seeing that chance, making the most of it, did a great job of wrapping him up and bringing him down.
So we've hit halftime, just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. Washington down on the scoreboard, but they are getting the football first here, and we are back underway on EA Sports. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter 3.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that, because those guys, the stop troops, they've been playing pretty well, and they've kept them around in this game. Now, they've got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got to re-energize that ground game and maybe open things up for a comeback here in this half.
And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. On third down, Corral. Able to complete this one to Tyler Conklin. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49.
That's good. For the Commanders, first down. First and 10 at the 49-yard line.
On first and 10, it's Gibson. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. Second and 10 coming up. Corral sets up play action. They'll roll him out right. They'll check that down to Gibson out of the backfield. And he has another first down as he'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 41-yard line. It's a 10-yard pickup, and that's enough to move the chains.
First and 10 at the 41-yard line.
A give running right, Gibson. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Corral on 2nd down. This a quick slant, and he's got Terry McLaurin. And he has another first down as he'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 22-yard line. Gibson here running out of the gun. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. They'll go again with Gibson. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets them up now 1st and goal.
The more football I watch, the more I want to check and see if teams are going to panic when they're down on the scoreboard. And this team has shown no signs of doing that. A lot of the time, they come out after the half. Things haven't worked so well in the first go-around. They want to throw the football like crazy. But the
touchdown, Washington. Antonio Gibson from 4 yards out. And the Commanders have taken the lead as they go right down the field and score on the opening drive of the second half. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead is now 14-10. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And they'll be working from behind now following the touchdown a moment ago on the opening drive of the half.
I think the guys right now, as they go out on offense, they're zeroing in on one big key. They don't have to do anything differently just because they're down on the scoreboard now. The intent is still the same in what they plan to do on offense. Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Well, if you look where that play starts, O-line versus D-line, that was a battle won by the D-line.
Yeah, and oftentimes it's won by quickness, off the ball. Who can handle the guy across from them best? On that play, the defensive line did exactly that.
Now flags come in here. Looked like one of the Eagles might have moved. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Airing it out deep for Smith. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. Well, the passing windows are just not there. That's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
Now back to throw. And he comes back with one complete. And he is going to have an Eagles first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
And they'll keep leaning on the running game back to the ground. And they will only muster a yard here at the 38.
I haven't been a defense coordinator yet. The thing 2nd and 2 is a fun situation to try and defend. The playbook is wide open for an offense partner.
Nice job holding the run after that 8-yard pickup on first down. This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. Here's a give up the middle. He's going to be a yard short. Needed 2, but only got 1. 4th down.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
They'll try and sneak it here. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. So a moment to catch our collective breath after the 4th down conversion. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. A new lease on life after the 4th down conversion. Here's 1st and 10. Throw right side, caught by Goddard, the tight end. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. He was unable to shake free there. They'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
In today's NFL, we're accustomed to the tight end getting downfield and creating plays and wreaking a little havoc in the secondary. Not on this one, though. They diagnosed that one really well.
Tried the dump off, lost yardage. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. And they will elect to decline the penalty.
Everything turned out the way they wanted it to. No sense in even having to take that one, hence the decline.
The Eagles on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 11. And this play going to be stopped in its tracks at the 32, and obviously well short of the first down. Give him a gain of 6 on the keeper, but it still brings up 4th. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, it makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And this is just outside the right upright. It's no good, and that will keep this a 4-point game. But just kicking a field goal there, that's a decision that could be open to second guessing. You know, you're trying to get back within a field goal, but it didn't work out as planned.
And now you're banking on your defense to be motivated enough to get out there and get the ball back for you. I think if that ball goes through the post, the defense is naturally motivated, even elevated in their mission. Now they've got to find a way to dig down deep and get it done.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up. Corral looking to throw. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. And the Eagles are going to take possession of the football. A critical error there in a tight game in the 4th.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the 4th quarter. Turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the 4th quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
to eat this one as down he goes. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
They'll look to throw. Looking sideline, incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make third down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big third down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. On play action, they'll throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Cameron Curl. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. From the gun, Corral. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here, he throws it away, and now it's third.
Well, sometimes an incompletion is the right play, and he showed that he's learned from his earlier interception on that throw. Instead of forcing it, he just tossed it away.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. 3rd and long, Corral. Open man here is Conklin. And he can only manage to take the football to the 40, and that is well shy of the first down marker. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This will get the lead up to 7. And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. That kick, by the way, Charles, a career long.
Well, we did watch him in pregame, and he hit from this distance, so not a surprise. But there still is something exciting about it, carrying it over from practice and pregame to actually doing it in live action.
He will return this from deep in the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And that last turnover could have proven more costly, but their defense only gave up 3. But now answering with a field goal doesn't do them much on this drive. They need to try and find the end zone. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Yeah, another negative play in an early down situation. This one to start the drive. You're putting a lot of pressure on your quarterback to bail you out when you're in 2nd and long yardage.
2nd and 11. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Watkins. So the pitch and catch good for 11. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot.
Barney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep and curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go, and let's see who's faster.
The battle in the trenches never more important than right now. This is 3rd and inches. They'll try and pick it up by running the option to the right. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for an Eagle first down.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Looking to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. It's got to be so tough having the ball in the middle of the field like that, knowing that a linebacker is just waiting to make a big tackle like we just saw.
Oh, no doubt about it, because offense coordinators love to call plays to send receivers into the middle of the field. And linebackers, they want to naturally discourage those plays from being called.
Oh, they're going to run a little pop pass here. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. We've got a one-score game with inside of 2 minutes remaining. To throw. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. And that's good for a gain of 6. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. He got out of bounds. That's a good thing, but still short of the first.
And now, since this brings up 4th down, the defensive play caller, grab your nerves, because now you don't want to be so amped up that you give them a 1st down by getting out of your lanes, but you also don't want to just lay back and let them have it easily.
On 4th down, they'll try and run for it. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a 1st down.
Add that one to the good run tally right there. He's been strong throughout this game, and there's no reason to suggest he's going to slow down in the 4th quarter at all. And that's exactly what they need him to do. Keep churning out 1st downs.
A new lease on life after the 4th down conversion. Here's 1st and 10. Back to throw. Over the middle, complete. It's Watkins. And the tackle going to be made at the 38.
That's a nice job right there, partner, because they were able to work down the middle of the field, working in the seams, because I think defensively they were guarding the sidelines, trying to keep them from getting out of bounds. They took what they gave them, and it was successful.
He's back to throw. Oh, no, he lost the football. That his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. And they were hoping to get down there, get the score, and get this thing into overtime. How deflating.
Absolutely. I mean, let's face it, heartbreaking. They had an opportunity, had a chance, and probably were feeling pretty good about what was going on, and that was taken away from them by their own mistake.
Yep, the opportunity squashed. And across the midfield, stripe into Eagle territory. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Corral going to look to throw it. That's out to the flat for Gibson. He's got room at the 30. Now he's loose down the left sideline. And he's across for the touchdown. And in the final minute, that should just about seal it. Obviously, Charles, such an important, well-executed touchdown, and that caps off what has been a strong second half. Remember, they trailed at halftime.
And how about the response? That's the type of thing that every team talks about before a season begins. Don't worry about the scoreboard at the half. Let's play strong in the second and come out and take the fight to our opponent. They did exactly that, and now they have the lead to show for it.
Extra point right down the middle, and the lead now up to 14. Is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And they take a knee. And they'll indeed take a knee.
Well, that second half, Charles, a little bit different from the first. Not only did we have the lead change after intermission, but they were able to pitch the shutout in the second half and get an impressive victory.
And what's the old expression? That's not quite how I saw it playing out in my head. You know they didn't expect this at all. As you mentioned, went into the half with the lead. Losing the game is one thing. Getting shut out in the second half, that's a surprise.
So for the Commanders, the win keeps them barely hanging on to their playoff hopes as they move to 4-7. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, the playoffs look to be out of reach now as they drop to 4-8. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Giants.